Hello, my name's Adam. I'm an ex-international cyclist and I've turned a triathlete. My fastest time for a middle distance triathlon is 4 hours and 10 minutes. And today I ran a PB at a 5k at a parkrun here in Belfast in Northern Ireland, and I ran a 16:30. So I just thought I'd jump on here and kind of talk about what I did before the race, how it looked. So if you've got a 5k or a parkrun coming up, you can use these tips. You can use what I did in my preparation for the race for the 5k, and maybe it'll help you bring your times down a little bit. So really what I'm talking about is my preparation on the morning of the race. I'll also go into a little bit of how my training looked before the race, and also the reason why I did it. So to be honest, it wasn't on my plan to do this 5k, but I was kind of looking over my past training for the last kind of 12 weeks or so, and my running's been more consistent than it's ever been. So I decided, the weather wasn't really looking that great, because usually at the weekend I'll do my long bike ride, but the weather was looking good. I was up in Belfast in my apartment. I know that there's a parkrun nearby that has a really fast course, so I decided that I would give it a go and see if I could beat my PB in the 5k, which is 16:36, which I set around 2 years ago now. So I thought, I've been training well, the consistency in the running's been there. Maybe I'll just put the legs to the test and properly see where the form's at. So that's kind of the reason why. It wasn't actually planned on my schedule, but I kind of decided I would just like to give it a go and sort of see where I'm at now, come March, in the lead up to preparing to hopefully qualify for the 70.3 World Championships in Massachusetts, in the Ironman 70.3 Massachusetts, in Springfield in America. So I'm prepping for that. That's coming up in 2 months. So really what this is it was just kind of like an all-out effort just to really see, what the form's at, to see if I'm kind of as fast or if my training's progressing, my running speed as I kind of have been hoping. And thankfully it has. I came away today with a PB. Not really. I went in with no expectations really, but I came away with around an 8-second PB on my last fastest 5k. And I also have a half marathon coming up this weekend, so I also really wanted to do a 5k all out just to maybe have an idea of where the form's at, and maybe kind of give me an idea for pacing for this half marathon coming up. So essentially, what I did is I went to bed early the night before. That was on Friday night, and the parkrun here in Belfast starts at 9:30. I know it's different in England and in other places across the world, but in Northern Ireland it's 9:30 it starts at. So yeah, basically I went to bed early, woke up at around 8 o'clock, got out of bed, just had like a normal enough morning. Some people ask, what to eat before, how to fuel yourself. Essentially what I had is I kind of woke up, and around an hour before the race, so around 15-20 past 8, I kind of had to lay in bed for a little while. I had a bowl of crave, which is obviously not really good nutrition, but I just don't really like running on an empty stomach. I've done that before. I've done fasted runs. I know that I can do them fast, but I just kind of woke up, just need a little sugar hit, something easy to digest, something that's not going to be sitting in the stomach that's super heavy. So yeah, I ate some crave, and then I had a coffee because I love having a coffee in the morning, but I also made sure to have a little bit, something I checked beforehand as well is the race actually started 4k away from where my apartment is. I checked that all the night before, so I knew that I had around 20 minutes before the race to get there. So I was a little bit behind schedule. I actually left my house at around 9:03, and it took me around 20 minutes to get there. To be honest, whenever I left, I was not feeling good. The legs were feeling heavy, and I was just feeling a little bit tired because, to be honest, I don't really do an awful lot of training that early in the morning at 9. I kind of like to wait till the middle of the day, till lunchtime, to get my sessions in, or usually 10 o'clock, which is also important. If you have an important race coming up, you want to make sure that your training's around that time, just so your body clock's used to it. But it was a bit of a shock to the system for me this morning, getting up at 9 and just getting out the door and running that early. So I kind of left at 9:03, had my breakfast, had a small coffee, and basically I ran for 10-15 minutes beforehand. And then I decided, just before the race, that I would do some strides. So basically I ran the first 3k super easy, and then I did a few 30-second strides, which are just like, 30 seconds running hard, kind of above the pace that I wanted to hold for the race for around 30 seconds, drop back down again, walk till I recover, did another 30 seconds, and then that essentially brought me to the start line of the race. I had a look then, and I left at 9:03. My warm-up was almost exactly 20 minutes, which left me at the start of the race at 9:23. plenty of time to like throw my jacket and everything away, and then the race actually started at around 9:32 or 9:33. So it was really good. It was well timed, and that's something I would really recommend if you can kind of scout out the course before and you kind of know when the race is going to start. Just kind of plan your warm up. You know, to me, it maybe felt like I was cutting things a little bit fine, but to be honest, I probably could have even left it another few minutes before I started my warm up from here. But then again, you know, if you have an event, you want to make sure you're on time, and anything around 5-10 minutes before the event is plenty of time to kind of finish your warm up and then just sort of wait around. Another thing that's important as well is like if you got a jacket. Actually, this morning when I was leaving, I had 2 jackets on, but I took one off because oh no, sorry. I had one jacket on, but I came back up to put another one on because I hate being too cold, especially in the morning time. So I had 2 jackets on, got to the start line, and I had my running vest underneath, and I wasn't sure if I was going to run with a running vest or not. I also had a hat on, which I kept on for the race, so I was running in like a bobble hat and my running vest and my shorts, obviously. But yeah, that gave me plenty of time to throw my jackets off and stuff before the start of the race. 10 minutes is sort of the maximum time you want to leave it. And then eventually the race itself, I'll bring up some splits of how it looked. So yeah, essentially the Victoria Parkrun here in Belfast is a course which is basically 3 laps of a park. It's dead flat, super fast course. It actually has the Parkrun world record for the fastest time, which I think is like 13:55 or something like that. But yeah, essentially I kind of knew it was going to be a fast course. I kind of thought it would be a really good PB course, and the training has been good up to it, so I sort of thought I was going to give it a good go and see where we were at. But yeah, so basically went out, my first K was 3:21, which I kind of did on purpose. I was sort of thinking and I was hoping to sit around that 3:20 kind of number, but ultimately like what I like to do in the beginning of a race, especially a 5K or a parkrun, is I'll start with everyone else, because everyone always starts too fast and everyone goes out really fast. So no matter what race I'm doing, I'll always kind of start and just sort of see how everyone else is running, see what the pace is like. Obviously, I never try and stick to the person that's fastest, because, you know, it's whenever I've tried to do that, you'll end up trying to jump in behind someone that's trying to run a 15-minute or a 14:35K, and you're really just going to ruin your own race. So I really do like to start, be in the middle of the pack, kind of figure out, you know, pace everyone's running at, and then, you know, usually a couple of minutes in, then I'll sort of really settle into my own pace. So that's kind of what happened. It's a very busy park run. There's around 100, 150 people there. So I kind of made sure to get to the front, because I sort of thought I'd be there around the top 10 at least. Basically, the race started. I was jostling for position a little bit. Had to kind of move myself around a few people and things. And then basically the first K was 3:21. Then I kind of really, then there was a guy who took off really, really fast. I think he ended up coming in at like 15:50 or something, you know, way quicker than me. And I essentially kind of spotted him, and he was way off in the distance, you know, straight away in that first K. But I kind of spotted him and I thought, okay, I'll use him. I'll just focus on, you know, running behind him. I won't try and actually pace with him, but I'll like try and not let him really get away. And then my second split then in that second K was 3:16. Then into the third K, you know, as 5Ks are, that third kilometer, third and fourth K are really, really where things start to hurt, because, you know, you're basically not even halfway done then whenever you're into that third K, which is super hard. Third K was 3:19 around. I was definitely struggling in this one, but I did feel like I could hold on. You know, it's like, this is the thing, no one feels good in a 5K effort. It's always going to be so difficult. And then the fourth K was 3:20, and then basically left the last 5, the final split. I did have a little bit left, and I didn't completely blow up. And I came in the final split in 3:16. So that kind of left me with a 5K time of 16:30. That was on my watch. My official time on the Parkrun website was 16:40. Yeah, sorry, my camera just fell. But yeah, the official time on the Parkrun website was 16:40, so you can decide if that's right or not. But yeah, I kind of went by the watch time, and I seen that the 5K clicked over, and I kind of just strided in from there, basically after 16:30. So yeah, then basically after the race, I kind of did like a nice little cool down. It was 4K to the race, 5K in the race, and then 4K back. I keep calling it a race. Maybe parkruns aren't a race, but it's just sort of, it was a race in my head because I was going out to set a 5K PB. So yeah, in total I kind of had, 5, 9. In total I ran around 14K, and then I also did an easy bike ride then later that day as well, just to spin out the legs, but the weather was really bad, so I didn't do much more than an hour. But yeah, that's kind of how it looked like today when I ran my 5K PB of 16:30. Running hasn't been a massive focus for me. I've been putting a lot of hours in on the bike recently as well. Obviously, I'm a triathlete, ex-international cyclist, so the bike would kind of be my strongest point, and to be honest, I think that's where I can make up the most time. But I've also really been focusing on keeping that consistency in running because, again, I have this half marathon coming up in a few weeks, and I also have a full marathon on the 4th of May here in Belfast too. So that's kind of kept me accountable, and it's just good to see where the running form's at. And with a 5k PB, I think it's sort of the best it's ever been. So hopefully I'm just looking to keep building on that. And yeah, hopefully this video helped you out if you sort of wonder, what race day looks like, how to prepare properly, what my kind of routine is before a race. So that's sort of how it looked like. If you have any questions, or maybe if you want to work one-to-one with me to get coached for a 5k, 10k half marathon, or any distance triathlon, I am a one-to-one coach. I've helped over 50 people get faster in cycling, triathlon, and running. Drop me a follow on Instagram, and make sure to comment, rate, and subscribe.